Good evening, Rusk enjoyers. I have been right, 'cause it's time for the predictions video. Yes, earlier we received the likes of the Halloween Week 2 Rust Store for 2024, but you might have noticed a bit of a problem. Where's the items? Where's the Halloween items? What gives? Well, unfortunately, there appears to be a bit of a problem. Something went wrong, and now they're delaying the Halloween patch until Monday, the 28th of October. So you've got to wait a few more days, but I'm under the impression when the patch goes through, we also see the likes of the Cursed Cauldron, the Skull Rock, the Skull Spikes, the Carvable Pumpkin, all of those items. So that's what I think has happened. Now you should be prepared that there might be some new items being introduced, a Frankenstein mask and a mummy mask. Now we're not 100% sure how this is going to work, but chances are, and if I could just look at last year's batch of Halloween skins, you might remember we saw the likes of the Dracula mask being introduced last year. It might be a case of, if you own the Dracula mask, you can then also make the likes of the Frankenstein mask and the mummy mask. Or, potentially, the Frankenstein mask and the mummy mask might be their own separate entities. We'll find out on Monday. Cool. Now, because of that, chances are not every single Halloween item might return. You know, every single year how they like to reintroduce Halloween items? Well, last year they didn't bring back large candle set, did they? Chances are maybe some more might not be brought back. And if that's the case, people by default will assume, well, oh, is that discontinued? Are they never bringing that back ever again? And then they buy it out, and then it becomes more and more valuable. Look at Surgeon Scrubs, for example. It only released in 2019, and it's only been getting more and more expensive. So I'm sure you get the idea. Be prepared for something like that. Cool. So now that you've been informed with the likes of that, we now need to go ahead, look at all of these skins, and consider which of them potentially the best investment for this week, which of these skins potentially might help us walk away with some sweet, delicious looking profit. Now, by default, holiday skins, right? Holiday skins, Halloween skins, there's a problem. What happens when it's no longer Halloween? People don't seem to care anymore, do they? Now, just look at last year's skins for a quick example, and as you might notice, down in price, down in price, down in price, down in price, that's actually doing quite right, down in price, that's actually doing quite right, down in price, down, 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 down. Yeah, by default, Halloween skins don't tend to work out very nicely. Now, certain unique ones that stand out ever so nicely might perform a fair bit better. Okay, fair enough. But be wary, be under the impression that there's a decent chance every single skin that we have right in front of us potentially will be going down in price in the foreseeable future, alright? So maybe you're just better off sticking with doing a buy order. Just passing that on to you. Okay, so at the very least, I'm looking at all of these skins now. What is looking to be the most appealing skin in my eyes? I'm looking at the Wooden Double Door from Hell, and it's very easy to understand. We don't get that many Wooden Double Door skins being accepted, do we? But you do use them. I'm under the impression that you, of course, like to whip out the likes of your garage doors as fast as you can, but you can't do that very quickly, can you? You might use the likes of sheet metal doors before that, and before that, wooden double doors. Now, we only have 8 of these in existence. That's it. 2 of them are Twitch drops. Look at all the skins that we have. That's it. Now, this just so happens to be a very nice glow-in-the-dark From Hell skin, and From Hell collection being one of the largest collections we have in Rust in total. Get a good look at all of those skins. Very nice, very cool. And I just can't help but assume this probably won't sell that much, especially in comparison to some of the other skins that we have here getting a lot of attention. So, okay, right. Maybe it's going to be okay for now, but what if we suddenly start seeing a lot more wooden double door skins being produced? Well, that's the funny thing. Over the past year, I'm always looking at the workshop for all the newest submissions. I've seen some interesting looking wooden double door skins being produced, but they don't get accepted. So let me just quickly show this. Most recent, here we are. And I can point out the ones that are of the genuine quality to be accepted, but they weren't accepted. This one, this one, this one, this one. We've seen some very cool looking skins being produced. Not accepted. Not accepted, not accepted, not accepted. And that had like really cool glow in the dark and transparency. Not accepted. So, okay, fair enough. Face Punch doesn't seem to like accepting these. And you might notice there really wasn't that many there. And those were all the good skins that are submitted so far this year. So, would you understand that that's looking to be very appealing right now? And would it still potentially dip below its roster price? Kind of wouldn't surprise me, but it wouldn't last forever. And also remember this, the last wooden double door skin to be accepted in Rust Store was the Christmas one, the gingerbread wooden double door. That's basically been staying in the positive throughout all of this year. Even if as we've gone through the likes of this October period, where most skins are expected to drop down to the lowest price, that's like hardly budged, because it hasn't had any competition. Well, it does now, but even then, you know, you might notice that's still doing very good. These have been doing all right. That one, unfortunately, has always kind of been down in price. It is what it is. But anyway, I'm looking at that. And at the very least, I think it's the skin that's going to do the best job in actually retaining its value. I don't think you'll be getting any competition anytime soon. and I am aware of this, skin creators aren't very happy in trying to make the likes of wooden double door skins. If you've seen its UV map, yeah. So I think it's going to be pretty secure for the foreseeable future. Please take that into consideration. But at the very least, it's abnormal. We'll wait till Wednesday next week. We'll be doing our abnormal barders, and then after that, we'll look at the abnormal barder support and make considerations after that. Now, if you don't fully understand what that is, basically, next Wednesday, look in the description right now, you'll see the links to all my socials. Next Wednesday on my Twitch stream, so look for my Twitch link, I'll be on stream at 9 PM UK time. I'm going to look at all the skins here. We're going to make considerations in regards to what prices we're going to offer, and then when it happens, when they become marketable, we race to put our barders down, and yeah, we'll look at the barter support afterwards. That's the amount of barders put in place and how high they go in terms of price, and you never know, maybe the wooden double door potentially has barders going all the way up to $2.49, therefore making it very appealing to consider actually buying it straight from the Rust store. Sounds good? Cool. Right then, let's look at the remaining skins then. What is also looking to be quite appealing? Now, by default, I know you might be looking at the garage door, but I'm actually going to avert your eyes and steer you towards the likes of the sheet metal double door. Throughout all of this year, we have received a lot of sheet metal double doors. Yes, we have. And initially back in February, many months ago, I was getting very concerned because over the course of like 2 weeks, we received 1, 2, 3, 4 skins. Actually, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. It was that one, yeah, sorry. Anyway, main point is I'm trying to get across is I thought sheet metal double doors were going to suffer pretty badly when we're going to go through the likes of the bad times. And then after this, we got this one, and 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 this one. Oh no, oh dear, oh dear. Like, we've had so many sheet metal double doors so far this year, especially when you compare it to like the previous years. So like the main point I'm trying to get across is we've received a lot of these sheet metal doors, and if you told me at the beginning of this year that this was the amount that we're going to get at bare minimum, I would have thought sheet metal double doors would have suffered. And yet, look at them now. The worst performing one that's been accepted this year is only down by 8%. It's the tempered sheet metal double door. It's sitting there at $2.76 after selling in the Rust store at $2.99. Once we reach around January time, when loads of people have time off, winter break, New Year's, you get the idea, I wouldn't be surprised if that comfortably rises back up and price into the positive. These have actually worked out very nicely. So now we have this Halloween-themed sheet metal double door, and by default I am a fair bit concerned about that. Obviously it's very gimmicky towards the likes of Halloween, as you can clearly see with all the pumpkins and whatnot, the candles. It's quite spooky, yes indeed. Now the glow in the dark does look very nice. It's a lovely piece of work produced by the likes of Mr. 38 and Mr. Falk. Good job there, guys. But I'm still thinking, okay, a smart barder could definitely work out ever so nicely, but let me tell you, with all these sheet metal double doors this year, one of them went down to negative 20%. And that was the worst performing one. That was the tempered sheet metal double door. It went down to about like $2.50. Oh no, but that's like hardly anything. Sheet metal double doors do appear to be very reliable at this moment. Even after all the Twitch drops, even after all the acceptances, they've been hanging on ever so nicely. So I can't help but assume that Dark Magic library actually might work out quite nicely in the future. Now, again, how much will it sell by next Thursday? That's a bit of a concern. We're definitely going to have to point that out. But at $3, maybe not too many sales happen. We'll keep an eye on this, all right? So, of course, I want to wait it out. I want to do my barders first. But sheet metal double doors, they seem to be doing good. And I just wanted to point that out. So that's the second thing I'm most confident in. Now I'll talk about the likes of the garage door. So, yeah. This was the skin that had the most support out of all the Halloween skins. If you go to micro522.com, this is all of the Halloween skin submissions, or at least the vast majority. And as you can see, with a score of 74, this is all based on upvotes versus downvotes and favourites and whatnot. It had an upvote to downvote ratio of 3.11. That is ridiculous. It had so much support. It's been accepted, and a lot of people are already going crazy for it because it's an anime skin. Anyway, basically, we have seen something like this before, and it happened last year. So we're going to quickly go show you the spell break. What's it called? It was like spell garage door. You're going to see it in a second, don't you worry. And here we are. Remember this? Remember the cute witch from last year? So basically, this came out last year at $4, and it was a very interesting, very nicely well-made garage door with a very cute witch who's going to put a spell on you. Anyway, that actually did a fairly decent job of retaining value. However, as time went on, it did eventually go down in price to a point where it was below $3. So let me just quickly show the history. As of now, only 32 listings. As of now, currently in the positive ever so nicely, but it did dip down at a certain point during the likes of the Easter dip. So basically, January rolls into likes of February, March, April. It did go below $3 at one point. but then it recovered ever so nicely during the likes of the summer. So as you can see here, that high point right there, it was selling for about $5 plus. Yes, this did end up going positive ever so nicely during the good times. January, $5-ish, summer, $5-ish, and then it kind of went down a fair bit gradually, slowly. You get the idea. I can't help but assume the behaviour we saw the likes of this is going to be emulated by the likes of the brand new garage door over here. So now that you can take that into consideration, I will sit here and say a smart buy order can definitely still lead to some nice success. Also, that's not selling at $4. That right there is selling at $2.99. Maybe a lower price might help it out a little bit more. All right, we'll take that into consideration. Also, I want to ask for your opinions. Feel free to comment below. What do you think when you look at the likes of this garage door? Is this the type of style you'd like to see with rust skins in general? Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of opinions today. Okay, so the point I'm trying to get across is I know this has a lot of demand, and I know a lot of people will be buying this for themselves, but there's also going to be quite a lot of people buying this in excess with a pure intent to sell. It might dip in price initially because there might be so much stock on the Steam market, but give it some time. I think it will be flourishing quite nicely. But remember, when it goes through a bad time, that very likely will be dropping quite a fair bit. So, smart thing to do, let's wait till next Wednesday. We'll do the abnormal buy orders, and we'll just see how it pans out from there. Sounds good? Right, so patience is a virtue. But by all means, if you want to buy it for yourself, and I know you can't stop yourself, buy it for yourself. Treat yourself, okay? Support that skin creator. It's their first ever skin to be accepted, so it's up to you. Let's move on. I want to talk about the mummy wrap jacket. Now, you might not instantly realise this, and I don't think the skin creators even consider showcasing this, but this is actually very good desert camouflage. I'm going to release a short video in which I showcase this with like the Desert Raiders hoodie and pants and a San Rhino face mask. It does a very, very good job. In fact, you could watch my Rust Rotation showcase and you'll see it. Just look in the chapters, you'll see it down there. It does a very good job of it. Now again, wearing a jacket in the desert, well, I mean, it's an option. And it blends in very nicely, much better than the desert jacket that costs like 9 cents. And that's 99 cents. But that's also a bit of a concern because it's cheap and a lot of people can buy it. And that means a lot of it can be bought. You get the idea. Oh dear, oh dear. But it's interesting, and it's definitely something I think a lot more people are going to become aware of. So I will be having that video out and the short video, and you're more than welcome to give it a look and give your own considerations, your own comments. But it does blend in very nicely with Desert Raiders. Just something I thought you'd be aware of. Okay, so that's looking pretty okay. Now I need to talk about the remaining skins, because this is where it gets a bit bad, unfortunately. Now, Crypt Armoured Door, you look very nice. A perfect sequel to the likes of the Armoured Double Door from 4 years ago. Very cool. But Armoured Doors, as of recent, they've been a bit awkward. And as you can see, as it loads up, yeah, down 29, down 50. Shadowborn's been doing all right. Okay, that's cool. Down 70, down 16, down 30. And then all the ones that came out last year. And then all the ones that came out in 2022. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's a bit concerning. By default, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes down in price. I don't think it'll go dramatically down in price, but yeah. And also, just take a look at it. Very nice, bright, cool looking design. A lovely piece of work produced by Mr. Jessin. And apparently, he was like motivated to do this because someone just would not stop asking for it to happen. Well, hey, look what happened now. So there you go. Congratulations, Mr. Jessin. And by all means, guys, if you like it, buy it for yourself. But I wouldn't be surprised if this drops down in price. I don't know how low. I want to see how many it sells by next Wednesday. But it seems to be like it'll be a skin that'll do better compared to all the other ones, but still go down in price. So, all right, cool. Let's move on and talk about the likes of the not so cute sheep Matador. Like, this is a perfectly fine, cute design. During the day, very nice and happy. At night time, evil. So, yeah, it's a goofy little skin. But I know people do appreciate things like this, and I can't help but assume, yet again, much like with the Armoured Door, it will still go below its roster price, but it will perform better compared to the other sheep Matadors, as an example. So, this is a $2.49 skin. Let's just go take a look at all the sheep Matadors that came out in 2024. I've gone through this routine so much over the past few months, but it keeps happening. Look at all the more recent sheep Matadors that have come out, and you'll see for yourself, oh no. And why is this loading? Why is this taking forever to load? Because there's so many sheep Matadors that it has to quickly load up. There's over 250 now, if I can recall. That's the amount that have been added to the game. That's all the other options to compare to. And this is why sheep Matadors, unfortunately, just keep struggling to retain interest, retain value. Grim Farm Matador, you only just became marketable, so we can't really count that. Oasis is already down in price. Porcelain's down in price. Greening Area's down by 42, down 67, down 52, down 59, down 2. Even Ultramarine, oh no. Down 54, down 50, down 57. I feel like I've made my point. But one thing you also need to be aware of, so many of these sheet metal doors sold at $2.49, and so many of them end up going below $1. Yeah, I know. So if you're going to look at this and say, oh, that's cute, it's a Halloween theme skin, that's a bit of a concern. But it is cute, and maybe that might still hold up some of the value. We'll see. Feel free to comment below what you think in regards to that sheet metal door. But just to point this out, it was the second highest performing skin in terms of interest, after the likes of the Halloween Witch Garage door and the non-glowing version. So I think a lot of people will be buying it because they like it. And when we see more people returning to play the game around January time, maybe they'll see that and think, oh yeah, I like that, that's cute, oh, I want to have that in my base. We'll see. As I said, I think it'll be one of the better performing skins, but I do still expect it to go down in price. Now let's see how many sales it has by Wednesday, and then we'll make considerations. Sounds good? Cool. And for the remaining skins, I'm going to say both the tier 3 and the hoodie and pants, I'm concerned. Alright, now if I were to just quickly remind you of the likes of the previous week's skins collection, the pumpkin collection, here we go. So this is actually a very good thing to bring up. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have the collection there for the tier 2, but if I look at Robstar's recent acceptances, I'll be able to show this. Here we are. So basically, throughout all of the past 2 years or so, these skins have actually performed very badly. Take a look at this. They're very gimmick towards the likes of Halloween, and as I scroll down and look at its sales history, yeah. See this price right here, back in, what, April 2024? As you can see, this was selling for about 50 cents. Now, of course, with the new core piece being accepted, it spiked up to about $4 at one point. But as you can see, it was super cheap initially. In fact, at the very beginning, like just a month after it came out, it instantly went down to about 60 to 70 cents. Yeah. So that's just like the kilt. I'm pretty sure the coffee can's probably even worse. Sorry to say, but you know. And as you can see, yes, it instantly goes down all the way to about 50 cents. And early this year, you could buy this for just about less than 40 cents at one point. Yes. So Halloween-themed clothing and armor, it's a big concern. It's definitely something you should be cautious about. Now, last week we had some interesting skins in regards to camouflage and whatnot. These clothing and armor pieces here, not really. They're not really camouflage. I know this is vaguely green, but I wouldn't consider it. The Awakened Tier 3 does look very cool. I like the eroded body design and whatnot, but I just can't help but assume it's going to go down in price. They just get forgotten. And once they're out of season, yes, once it's no longer Halloween, people just don't care too much about it. Now, the face mask does look cool. I have showcased these skins in-game and whatnot. Go take a look at the likes of my Rust Rotation video. This does look nice. And this was actually the most voted for clothing and armor piece out of all the Halloween skins. But even then, I'm still concerned. I've seen so many clothing and armor pieces for Halloween just instantly go down to about 50 cents. And that's it. So, for both the tier 3 and the hoodie and pants, I'm not that confident in them. I'm very sorry to say. Now we can wait until Wednesday and see how they are by then with the sales. The hoodie here is abnormal, not the pants, but both the tier 3 pieces are abnormal, so we can use that to our advantage. Sounds good? Cool. And then we have the weapons. I've left them for last because I just don't have that much faith in them whatsoever. Take for example the pumpkin exhibition SAR here. Yeah, last year we had a pumpkin exhibition AK-47. It's currently selling for $1.20 after selling in the Rust store at $1.99. And then over here we have the Gore AR. Just so happens that last year we had a Gore SAR being accepted, and as you can see, it's currently selling for $1.12 on the Steam market after selling at $1.99. Point I'm trying to get across is, yeah, these are going to go down to $1 and less pretty quickly. I'm so sorry to say, but holiday gimmicked. Take a look at this. So pumpkins all over it. Very nice design. Props to you, Mr. Delaray. But that's going down to less than $1 in about a month. And then with the Gore AK-47. Now, in all fairness, the Gore design looks really, really cool. If you are a fan of the likes of this type of design and whatnot, by all means, treat yourself. But I just can't help but assume it's going to go down in price pretty quickly. Now, for a while, the Gore SAR did do pretty okay, but it still went down in price eventually. So I can't help but assume, much like many other AK-47s, even the likes of the Gore AR, that's very likely to go below its rust price and potentially all the way down to about $1. Take a look at all the AKs that came out this year. Oof. Oh wow, even Commandos started to dip down a bit. $2.20 instead of $2.49. Shining Edge sold for $3, now it's selling for $1.15. Angu AR, $1.99, $1.22. And if you just look around and look at more of them, you can see it's not holding up. Yeah, too many AKs, 270 of them. Too many to compare to. There's the problem. So, yeah, unfortunately, that might just end up being a 60 cent to 80 cent barter situation. And, yeah, I've basically talked about everything there. So, It's up to you how you approach that, but remember, if you just want a skin, just buy it. But if you're looking at these and wanting to make an investment, while using the financial perspective, I've yapped more than enough to help you out in regards to what you might want to do in terms of approaching them. By default, Halloween skins, not exactly the best investments, and that applies to all holiday skins, really. Now, if there's one more thing, is there one thing I need to point out? Yes, there is. Recently, we've been noticing a lot of interesting commits. More specifically, you might notice that there's been lots and lots and lots of mentions in regards to siege weapons, battering rams, ballistas, siege towers, and what was the other one? I think I remember a drawbridge being mentioned. Basically, just think like medieval weapons to smash down walls. You get the idea. Yeah. So, why is all this being made when I can just use a C4? Well, if you were to look at the likes of my Twitter over here, I've noticed that there was something being mentioned called primitive GM. I'm pretty sure GM refers to game mode. Now, I'll link this in the description of this video right now, but it looks like we're going to get an official primitive game mode being introduced to Rust, and it looks like all the assets, all the items in the game are being given like a category. They're being categorized like old age and new age. You might notice era's being mentioned so much. So old era, new era. If it's old era, it's primitive. If it's new era, it's like a gun it's like a gun. It's C4. Basically, technology. That can't be in primitive game mode, can it? So it won't be allowed. Simple as that. So yeah, if you're tired of constantly being shot at the second you launch into the game, well now you can get shot at with arrows instead, on fire. Yay! So it's something for you to consider, but it looks like this potentially might be ready by early 2025. I am thinking in December, it's expected that we are going to have a Twitch Rivals event again. It was announced back in the September Twitch Rivals. I think they're going to do a primitive Twitch Rivals with all the brand new battering rams, the ballistas. Now, if you don't know what a baluster is, it's like a gigantic crossbow. Have you played Elden Ring? You'll get the idea then. So I think that's what's going to happen. And battering ram, think about it. Isn't that like really heavy? How are you going to get that all around? Maybe we're going to need to use horses to drag everything about, or maybe you just need a big group of friends to go carry it all around and smash down people's buildings. So I'm sure you can understand this might be pretty fun. We'll see how all this turns out, but we haven't had anything officially said yet. And don't forget, we're still expecting the likes of a jungle biome. That hasn't been officially said yet, but so many things have been alluding to it. So that's up to you to catch up with. Again, just look at the description. That tweet will be there, and you can quickly look at the likes of the links that are provided over to here. There you go. So this is the one for the likes of showcasing the primitive GM, and this is the one for showcasing the likes of the siege weapons, which you just saw right there. Cool. Perfect. So thank you very much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. Just to quickly inform all of you, you might be aware that with the recent Rust skin submissions, we've returned to non-Halloween skins, alright? So if you want to be up to date with the likes of all the brand new skins, just go take a look at the likes of my Rust Workshop Skin Checks October 22, 2024 video. And yes, all the collection continuations are chaptered. If you see anything that interests you, just skip ahead. The options provided. Right then, so that's basically everything. Thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Catch you later. See you and goodbye.